Stugotz, making this an even more exciting and action-packed time than it feels like for sports fans because football is here and there's just a lot going on. You're about to be bombarded with stimuli. One of our favorite times of the year is when we get to go over the past year and remember nostalgically all the things that went wrong and all the awards to give out. There are usually a lot of them to give out in our SUEYs, and your category, the one that I think of when I think of you, is dismissals. Like
right,
that,
yes.
That is the Stugotz honorary category. I think it's the best one. Like, I expect you always to win this category.
Right. I expect myself to win the category every year, but I am told that Billy Gill had a hell of a year.
I mean,
that's all I'm concerned.
Let's not sleep on Stugotz. He still brings it in this category, but I would say if there's someone else coming for his throne, it was Billy this year.
Billy, how do you feel about being a challenger in this category? Do you think you can knock him off?
So proud of him.
Not great, to be honest with you.
All right.
Questioning
Who's the voice? Let's find out together who the voice of the SUEYs is this year.
And now the Suey nominees for Best Dismissal. Billy Gill dismisses Canada.
But now that Canada is being all judgy McJudge over Greg Cody, and now that they're, they think they're holier than thou, I hope the Panthers win.
Oh, finally.
And I hope that Canada never
This is what it took. Greg Cody being criticized.
Never wins a Stanley Cup again. And these miserable Canucks up there who think that they're better than the rest of us, that they know hockey better than everyone else, get the show. How about you get the cup? Which you haven't for 30 years, and you're not going to this year because Connor McOverrated is going to choke and vomit all over himself all over again because he's no Wayne Gretzky who did it all on his own and needed no help ever. Hockey.
Mina Kimes dismisses Dan's flannel.
Did you get lost on the way to Home Depot today, Dan? Like, what's going on with the plats?
Get his ass, Mina. But do
you
it
look
in
like
song.
you're about to ask me to, check the oil on my car.
Get 'em.
Or, come over and, look around and point things in my house that need to be fixed.
Stugotz dismisses Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Blah, blah, blah.
Come on.
Dan, you know what the N in Nick stands for? Not the NFL. You know what the B in Bo stands for? Better start thinking about getting a job.
Billy Gill dismisses Disney adults.
Adults, if you're waiting 45 minutes to meet Mickey Mouse, reprioritize your life.
Dwayne Wade dismisses Paul Pierce.
Have you ever wanted to just tell Paul to shut the f up?
Very subtle. Very subtle.
Well, listen, rent is expensive in America, and I'm living rent-free right now, so let them keep going. I like living rent-free.
Mike Ryan dismisses Victor Wembanyama.
Not a good basketball player. Not good. He's just tall.
Billy Gill dismisses Messi.
This fucking guy. They pay him how much to come here and play for Inter Miami and MLS?
Getting hurt for Argentina.
Around in some stupid Copa tournament that doesn't matter. You won the World Cup. You won the international tournament. You're going to win. Why are we playing this other ridiculous stuff?
He's already also won that tournament.
So what is he doing? Enough already. Who agrees to have their employee come and just not show up to work to go work at another company and then have him get injured?
Stugotz.
I don't get it.
Stugotz dismisses Reggie Miller.
I don't want to hear about Reggie Miller. I mean, he has somehow inserted himself into this series. I am tired of Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was 9-33 for his career on the road against the Knicks. He had 9 seconds. Take those 9 seconds away, and Reggie Miller, according to Dan, who was asked by Boog Shambi at the Versace Mansion many, many years ago, Reggie Miller, not a Hall of Famer.
Great moment.
I am tired of hearing about Reggie Miller.
The shipping container dismisses Dan's flannel.
Dan, you look like a divorced dad, and a great one at that.
Yeah.
I have a divorced dad. I can attest. You do. Like on a first date.
You're the divorced dad that has your ex-wife being like, what? Now you look good? Now you're putting it together?
Yeah.
Where was this effort when we were together?
What's your gambit? Guess what? Dollaritas are back.
Billy Gill dismisses Mets groundskeepers.
It's the groundskeepers. Don't get me started on them. I don't know what they're doing. They don't seem to care about their jobs. They're like, the season's over, and they're just playing around. I don't know if you saw what happened last night. Last night there was a 3-hour rain delay. At one point, the groundskeepers were taking group photos on the field instead of keeping the ground or whatever it is that they do. I don't know why they were taking group pictures. They were laughing about, they were removing the tarp, making puddles in the outfield, not the puddles that we've wanted in the outfield to make the game more fun, the puddles that cause games to not continue. They've just been an absolute disaster, this groundskeeper team. I don't get me started on them.
Greg Cody dismisses Michael Phelps. Due respect to Michael Phelps.
Oh, boy.
Can you be the number one professional athlete of your century when people only give a shit about you 2 weeks once every 4 years? Billy Gill dismisses whales.
If the whales want to continue to exist on this world, they will stop f***ing with human beings. I'm telling you that right now, okay? There's not a human world under the water. There's a sea world on Earth because we capture the whales and then we put them in tanks. If we wanted to end the whales, we would end the whales, so they need to stand down.
Dominique Foxworth dismisses his son's dap.
I took my son to the barbershop to get a haircut, and my man gave out some limp dap.
Oh, no.
Damn. I disowned him. I threw him right under the bus. I was like, whose kid is that out here dishing out limp dap?
Grandma Smetty dismisses Grandpa Smetty.
I don't think I ever got that many roses in my whole life. Certainly not from your lovely grandfather, God may his soul rest in peace.
Jeff Jarvis dismisses AI.
It's macho waving by the AI boys to think that they're ever going to be so, they can make the machine that's so smart and smarter than us all, so they're smarter than us all. It's crap. Don't panic about it. Don't worry about it. They're all part of a cult called Tescriel. They're nutballs.
Chris Mad Dog Russo dismisses Halloween.
I wouldn't dress for Halloween. That's another complete waste of time. I didn't like Halloween when I was a kid.
As a kid, you didn't?
And I couldn't stand it. What a joke. Running around getting candy. I couldn't. And nobody comes to my house because I'm a rough cookie. I leave all the lights off. No little kids bouncing around. And if they come, I give them more Tootsie Rolls because that ruins teeth.
Mike Ryan dismisses Mario Cristobal for not kneeling.
You! Good.
Yeah!
Let it out, Mike.
I screamed that.
But not
and I was like, throw the bottles! Throw the bottles! You!
But not,
you stole it from us!
Not Cristobal, though? You didn't do
No, I was screaming at Cristobal before that in the first down. Kneel the f***ing ball! What the f*** are we doing?
There you go.
What the
That's all we wanted.
So I thought the
survive in advance! What the f***?
The shipping container dismisses UM.
This team is just an average college football team, right?
Yeah. Well, he's lost the team. Mario has lost the team.
Jeremy cut down that sweater.
My team did not lose.
No, I'm telling you, though, Canes
Don't
fans
criticize
have
the
this
sweater.
persecution complex. Like, they are hated by the NCAA. They're built up. Anytime that UM starts 4-0 against a crappy schedule,
Everyone wants the Canes to be
ranked.
good. Yes.
Other teams in the ACC have to work way harder to be ranked than Miami.
Yes.
Miami is gift-wrapped rankings as soon as they start any season 4-0.
Yes.
And they find a way to blow it every year. If we go,
Hold on,
go
Chris.
back over the last 10 years, they've probably lost to every ACC team at some point.
Right, they have.
It's not like they just lose to the same one every year. They've lost to all of them.
Yes.
Virginia Tech, Clemson, Georgia Tech. It's just a different team every year. I'm just so over it. This team is just an average college football team.
Spencer Hall dismisses Drake.
First of all, Drake is boring. Drake has always been boring. Drake lives and dies off his producers. Drake has never said an interesting thing. Quote me a Drake bar that matters. Not one. Not at all. Oh, that's interesting. You have trust issues with women. Oh, wow. You did it all yourself. That's every Drake song. I did it all for my team, and I hate women. That's it.
Stugotz dismisses Joel Embiid.
I'm tired of Joel Embiid. I got to be honest with you. Every 10 seconds, it's drama. He's either hurt, he's on the floor, he's grabbing his shorts, he's grabbing his ankles, he's bent over, he's tired, he's mad at a teammate, he's mad at a referee. He's never mad at himself, though.
Stu.
Never mad at himself. And then that boneheaded decision, when you're already hurt, to toss one off the backboard and throw it home at the Mecca. Are you crazy? That was the dumbest decision in the history of NBA decisions.
Stugotz dismisses the 76ers.
I'm tired of them, their fan base, the whole team, the organization. I can't stand them. I can't stand any of them. Nick Nurse, enough. Complains about every single call. Those guys limping around, complaining. I've got a headache. I've got this. My leg hurts. Maxey faking injuries. Then going out fourth quarter, having the greatest fourth quarter that the Mecca has ever seen.
Stugotz dismisses Robert Kraft and Arthur Blank.
Robert Kraft should be ashamed of himself. I'm serious. I mean, the way he is smearing Bill Belichick after he left New England with that documentary, with this report, another deep dive by Seth Wickersham, he should be ashamed of himself. Bill Belichick has raised the value of his franchise exponentially. He has won him 6 Super Bowls. He has made that lousy organization one of the marquee organizations in the NFL. And I don't understand what Robert Kraft is doing, calling Arthur Blank, and he should be ashamed of himself as well, because Arthur Blank, make your own decisions. What the hell are you doing? You're going to let Bob Kraft impact who you're going to hire at head coach? Get the hell out of here. Your organization is lousy. It will always be lousy. You'll never be good. At Bob Kraft, the only reason your organization is good is because of Bill Belichick.
Stugotz dismisses Bill Belichick.
Belichick has done nothing since Brady left. He made the playoffs once. I think at the very least, he should not be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh,
They
no.
should make him wait like 10 years to get it. He's an overrated coach.
Oh, no.
Stugotz dismisses Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic.
He was lousy, and he's lazy. I mean, I'm sorry,
No,
play
he's not lazy,
defense.
dude.
No, sprint back, play defense, rotate,
has to
stop
do so
leaving
much.
guys shooting open threes. He's lazy. He is lazy. And Kyrie Irving, the audacity of that guy to come out, who has lost 12 straight now to the Boston Celtics. Leader guy. I've changed, saying all the right things, doing all the right things, except when he steps on a court in Boston. That was an all-time lousy NBA Finals performance. He should be ashamed of himself. People call him one of the great offensive players of all time. Great handle, best handles. Oh, he's got handles. He's got handles. You know what he had? No threes last night. He was terrible.
Rachel Weiner dismisses her dad, Stugotz.
I had Rachel and Emma both home, and I was in a fight with Rachel. And I said, if you roll your eyes one more time, there's going to be a problem. A big problem. And she said, really? What are you going to do?
Oh, goddamn.
I mean, that's where
I didn't have an answer.
The sod father, George Toma, dismisses Roger Goodell.
They just don't give a damn, you know. And I could help them to alleviate this problem. But you think that'll ever happen? No. If they don't do it, we have to take it to the government.
Yes.
We have to take it to the government because of the poor playing conditions, and they don't give a damn.
For Cooper Cup.
They're injuring the players, George. They're injuring them.
Because they don't give a damn, Dan.
The only one that's going to do them is George P. Toma having a meeting, and if they don't listen, we go to the government.
Billy Gill dismisses the Knicks.
Your team choked, okay?
Oh, I know.
You guys
I know.
had this,
I'm aware.
and you choked, and you were embarrassed on your home court.
I was.
And you're giving them a standing ovation when, in reality, they deserve to be booed off the court for that performance.
Especially Brunson.
That was loser mentality by those fans saying, we're so proud, we're so happy. No, you guys got punked.
Mike Ryan dismisses Jason Tatum.
That dude was a coward. That dude was a coward. Don't tell me the aggregated 10 points and let that be the headline. That dude disappeared. He was chicken personified on that court. Get out of here. He got lucky because Jaylen Brown hit un cagazo of all time, and Rick Carlisle just blew that game. That dude was a chicken.
Mike Johnson dismisses Greg Cody.
This is Mick ridiculous. Absolutely. Listen, I'm all about clickbait, reader engagement, pandering to the home crowd. I get that. But like, if you know anything about hockey, and I'm assuming Greg might.
Stugotz dismisses Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani is overrated. He has had one 100 RBI season. One. He has never taken his team to the playoffs. The next playoff game he plays will be his first playoff game of his career. He can't pitch next year. $700 million seems like a lot of money for a guy who's 29 years old and had one 100 RBI season and couldn't make it to the playoffs with Mike Trout. He's overrated.
Stugotz dismisses the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dan, this time of year, everyone talks about teams they don't want to see come playoff time. I want to talk about a team that I actually want to see come playoff time. Oh, no. I want to see the Chiefs.
Oh.
I want Patrick Mahomes strolling into my stadium with max confidence. I want Travis Kelce. I want Taylor Swift. I want the team that lost to Jordan Love. I want the team that lost to Aiden O'Connell. I want the team that trailed 17-0 to Jake Browning. That is the team that I would like to face in the playoffs. That's the team, indeed, that I would want to face in the playoffs because that team is not very good.
Wow. Welcome back, Suey's. Stugotz with a late run there. He had a lot. A rare double ashamed of themselves in one of them.
Shohei's overrated.
Bill Belichick did everything for the Patriots. Bill Belichick is overrated right after that. Put a couple of things on the poll. Billy, though, I think you made a strong challenge.
Yeah.
A big, strong year of dismissals from Billy Gill. Put these on the poll, please. Do groundskeepers keep the ground at LeBatardShow? And also put on the poll, do Tootsie Rolls ruin your teeth? Mad Dog says he doesn't do Halloween. I don't know if you guys saw this story. Did you guys see that Snoop Dogg, in order to avoid all of the pictures that the parents want when he takes his grandkids to birthday parties, Snoop Dogg admits to wearing full-on costumes where he's not recognized as Snoop Dogg. So Grandpa goes to the grandkids' birthday parties, but is in such a costume that no one recognizes that Snoop Dogg is at the party because he doesn't want to be bothered by the parents.
And over there, Barney's smoking a joint. It's a little odd.
I imagine, right? Because it'd be hard for him to just do it with makeup. So it's got to be like he's in a mascot's costume of some sort. And then the mascot Barney does smell like marijuana.
At a certain point, though, you have to the guy's doing 5 hours of makeup to avoid 6 photos. Like, what are we doing?
I don't think it's 5 hours of makeup. I think it's Chris's idea. I don't know exactly, but I think he is just hiding inside some sort of thing where you can't tell at all that it's him. It's not makeup. It's a costume. It's a bit of a uniform.
Also, there's a lot of confidence in word not leaking out that Snoop Dogg's that person's grandfather. That's just like a weird conversation. Didn't you tell me that was Snoop Dogg's
You could mess with
grandkid?
your friend. You go up to your kid like, guess who Barney is?
Well, it's not just that you can mess with your friend. It's that if you then know that Snoop Dogg is there, all you get is a picture with Barney. And then you tell people, look, I took a selfie with Snoop Dogg. No, you didn't. It was just a Barney costume that smelled like marijuana.
It's like, look, I know I've had a few beers, but Barney spoke and he sounded just like Snoop Dogg.
Stugotz, I would be remiss if I did not tell you something that is happening tonight because the Boston Red Sox don't have anything to play for, and Cora is interested in making some magic. Are you guys aware of this story? Because it's a really fun one. It's never happened in the history of the sport, and people like Tim Kirkshin and Mike Schur just love the details on this story because of how ridiculous it is. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox played a suspended game. And in the time since the suspended game, which needs to be replayed tonight, Billy, do you know this story?
I do.
Okay, because it's just...
We were debating whether or not the Red Sox were out of it. They're
Yeah.
4.5
They're
back.
not out of it.
They're
They're 4.5 back in the wild card.
Yeah,
Make a
one
little
spot
run,
Yeah.
little push.
I was doing the same thing. Thank
Okay,
you. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're good enough, but okay.
They
fair
can catch the
4.5.
Twinkies of the Royals.
I know, but it's
Right.
just cheating because the wild card is such a bogus thing. Like,
What?
they're not as good as the
It was good for
Orioles and
baseball.
the
Cost
Yankees.
us.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is good for baseball, and I love the wild card. But to say they're in wild card contention and to say they're good, those aren't synonyms.
What do you think of Scott Service being dismissed?
The Mariners,
What?
I have been following them closely, and I was heartbroken for them because their pitching has been a half a run better than everyone else's pitching, and I thought Arozarena was going to bring them something, and then the first game I'm watching of him, 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, and he drops a fly ball.
He's actually fitting right in.
Are you just following Randy Arozarena's career? Last year it was Rays, now it's Mariners.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of
Randy
baseball.
Stan.
I love baseball, and
8 wildcard teams have won the World
Dan's
Series.
fandom goes wherever Randy goes. We know that. I mean,
I am not saying that the wild card team cannot win the World Series. I am saying the Red Sox aren't actually very good. That's what I'm saying. They might
just
be-
got to get hot.
You like Cal Raleigh?
Yeah.
Big Dumper. He's got a great nickname.
Big Dumper.
Big Dumper.
Wish he got his average up a bit, if I'm going to be honest.
Put it on the poll at LeBatardShow. Is Big Dumper a good nickname? Because I don't feel like it is a good nickname. I think it's a bad nickname.
For a catcher, it's a
Catcher,
great
a
name.
power-hitting
Perfect,
catcher?
yeah.
You kidding me?
Big Dumper. No, it's just somebody. I imagine someone takes a big on the plate. That's what I imagine.
Well,
with-
because of his standing position as a catcher, you could see it happening.
So here's the story, Stugotz. Danny Jansen, because the suspended game he was playing for the Blue Jays and because tonight he will play for the Red Sox, it's not merely that he will become the first player to play for both teams in a game in Major League history, but because he's the catcher, and I don't know if you guys know this part, and because he was up to bat when the last game was suspended and he had an 0-1 count, he is going to catch the ball for what began as his at-bat.
What?
He is going to be the catcher on an at-bat that began as his, but the pinch hitter, unfortunately, will inherit it because it was only 1 strike. If it were 2 strikes on it, then it would be Danny Jansen's at-bat, where he'd be the great all-time riddle of explain to me how it is that there was once a catcher who caught his own at-bat.
That's amazing.
Right?
It's amazing. Catching his own at-bats. I mean, it's worth watching.
I don't feel like Roy is finding this as interesting as the rest of us are. I don't think that Chris Cody is finding this as interesting. As a baseball oddity, I don't think that that these guys are finding it as interesting as I do.
So if he has 2 strikes and this pinch hitter struck out, would that strikeout be charged to Danny Jansen?
It's yes, the way, and I didn't know this before reading this story. This was not a rule that I was familiar with, but because Danny Jansen only had 1 strike, the at-bat is not his. But once you get to 2 strikes in at-bat, you've done more than half of the at-bat, and
you own the at-bat.
Therefore, the at-bat is yours.
Well, no, because if a home run happens, he doesn't get credit for the home run.
If he's got 2 strikes
and a home run happens, it's his home run.
I think
I would serve up a meatball as the catcher. Right? I don't have to do anything. I give the hitter a favorable pitch so that they hit a home run and I get credit for it.
I actually believe that the only way that the at-bat counts against you if it's a failure. I don't think that if it then succeeds and the ball comes out of your
that's
bat.
not fair.
That's not fair, yeah.
If he gets his failure, he should get his success. I mean.
So I'd still serve up a meatball. I don't want to strikeout accredited to me.
So wait a minute. You guys, let me just see the argument you're making. You're saying.
Let us see it too.
Let me see what you're saying here.
Okay.
So Danny Jansen goes 0-2.
Right. He owns the at-bat.
He owns the AB.
And then someone hits a home run. You want me to give that home run to Danny Jansen? All he contributed to the at-bat was the 2 strikes.
It's his at-bat.
Yeah, if he gets the strikeout, he should get the home run.
Right.
No, because
Why?
Because he's responsible for the
2/3.
majority of the
Right.
failure.
I get it. Right.
Not that he's not responsible
if he's calling
for the majority
pitch,
of the success.
Not if he's calling the pitch. He could be responsible for the success as well.
The old number 1.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You tell the pinch hitter, hey, right here, right down the pipe.
Yeah.
You guys aren't interested in baseball. We've got the legitimate chance that a bunch of shit is going to be decided the last weekend of the season, like that everything has stakes on it the last week of the season. That's why the wild card is a great addition. Can you imagine that once upon a time only 2 teams from each league made it?
Crazy.
It's hard to imagine how unfair that is. Like you could win 100 games and not make it to the playoffs. Too bad.
They went straight to the ALCS and the NLCS.
That was a thing. They didn't have multiple divisions. But you guys aren't interested in baseball. Mike, you were following the Mariners for a while. They just can't hit at all. They've got great pitching and they cannot hit.
They cannot hit. But if you would have told me, hey, the first career postseason touchdown pass of Marcus Mariota's career was to Marcus Mariota, I would have been more in because football.
The thing that's happened with the Mariners, Stugotz, they've coughed up a 10-game lead in 51 games.
Stroh's got good though.
The Stroh's got good after started like 7-19 or something. But what's happened that's super interesting there is not since the '69 Mets has a team gone from 10 up to 5 back this quickly, and it's just because they can't hit at all.
On 8 occasions, a team has won 100 games and missed the playoffs.
Well, that wouldn't happen this year.
No,
never. It'll never happen again with these rules.
So many sports going on. Some people have to decide, where do they get their tickets? Do I get baseball tickets? Do I get football tickets? I'm going to a sold-out football game this weekend in the Swamp. Guess where I'm going?
Where?
Game Time. That's right. Game Time, the Game Time app. Do yourself a favor, create an account, use a promo code Dan. I had an interaction with a fan on the train today. He was saying, man, I wanted tickets, but they were so expensive. I told him legitimately in person, promo code Dan on the Game Time app. He thanked me. And he said, I've already done that because you're so good at these reads. I was like, all right, well, maybe get your wife to sign up for an account. That's a cool way. She's never used promo code
someone
Dan.
came up
asking, soliciting strangers. Where do I get
No, he was wearing a You Can't Get the Show shirt underneath, which is my favorite way to approach me in public. Terms apply. Last minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Game Time.
Mike, have you forgotten what this is called? It's not you can't get the show, Mike. It's not you can't get the show.
Fine, man.
Adnan's first.
The show is not available to you.
You can't get the show?
It's you.
No, he was saying like, where are you guys now? I was like, oh, you can't get the show, depending on whether or not you have a Samsung Smart TV.
Kick, save, and a butte.
You don't get the show.
My life as I know it is about to drastically change forever. And the reason I say that, as many of you know, I'm going to be a father coming up in December to a baby girl, and it's crazy, and I can't believe it. And a lot of my life is going to change, but there's one thing in my life that's going to be constant. And since 1975, this original light beer has been a constant, a mainstay for the entire planet. And it's going to continue to be a mainstay for me. It's Miller Lite. They keep it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. It's a light beer that actually tastes like beer. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling, and it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. I will when my daughter's born with a tall, cold glass of Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
I suppose that we should start getting used to the idea that football's going to come in and knock out all of the weekend's sports news, but before we get to the full sprint of whatever football is in that realm, I did just want to stop for a second and celebrate, if I can use that word, that Chris Bosh was back on a basketball court as part of loving Goran Dragic and everything that Goran Dragic represented to the NBA, because Goran Dragic as an athlete, super confusing to me how he can be that successful at that size. One of the more confusing basketball players of my lifetime, to see him be that good, that savvy, and to have so much love around him because of the kind of teammate that he was, that Chris Bosh would play for the first time since February 9th, 2016, that Jokic would show up, that so many people would show up for his retirement game, because in some ways he's a pioneer for those guys from a different place that get to believe that they can be in the NBA because they saw Goran Dragic do it. It was really nice, although a little bit bittersweet, to see that Chris Bosh was back out there, because Chris Bosh, Stugotz, could still be good today. He hasn't played since February 9th, 2016, and it was sort of heartbreaking, everything that happened there. But Chris Bosh could still play at this age in today's NBA, especially how it's changed.
I think it's a cool story that Bosh is back on a basketball court for the first time. I think congratulations. It's worthy of that moment. You know, you're congratulating him. I do wonder, as you're telling the story, if Goran Dragic is deserving of a retirement game.
Come on.
It is.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Like, I didn't have that on my bingo card of like, man, when this guy retires, they're going to have a whole game around this guy.
It's in Slovenia.
It's nice for Chris Bosh, but he's 40. He could not play in the NBA today.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
just
up there.
shooting jumpers?
Yeah, but at 40 years old
At
now.
40, no.
Yeah, there were plenty of gifted
LeBron,
jumpers that retired.
LeBron is still playing
LeBron-
out there.
LeBron is in a
LeBron
whole
is
different.
LeBron. Chris Bosh is Chris Bosh. Like, Dirk was a better comp. Like, once guys of that era started approaching that, I guess Dirk could be the last guy on a bench if they said, hey, you just camp out there and make corners, but they want something
You
more
don't
for
think
themselves.
that Chris Bosh could give an NBA team what Nicholas Batum was giving people last year?
No, I can't. I can't possibly believe that at 40. It's just a strange thing, but I do think he would have been good like 3 years ago.
The thing that I wanted to mention about it, though, Stugotz, when you say it's a good thing, it wasn't just a good thing. It was bittersweet to me to watch it, because you're celebrating that he's able to run up and down a court, but you're also realizing this person got 6 prime years stolen from him in a way that really had to hurt, when he's a Hall of Famer, and he would have been for at least 6 of those years. If you don't want to give me all 8, at least 6 of those years, he could have absolutely played at a high level.
1,000%. And the way that the game evolved, which he was actually a part of that evolution, his game would have aged quite well. He was still really good defensively. I think the lateral movement might have gone in. Keep in mind, 6 full seasons of the body wearing down. Like, those bigger guys tend to depreciate a little bit quicker. But yes, absolutely, especially when when he went out with the blood clots, Miami was really well positioned. They had just made that trade for Goran Dragic, and there were all sorts of questions out there about David Blatt's Cleveland Cavs. They could have kept the thing going without ever actually having to rebuild it, and the clots got in the way.
I'm just saying, Goran with a retirement game, that seems like a little bit much. Like, David Lee was a better player. He didn't get a retirement game. He just retired. I mean,
I don't think that's right.
What do you mean?
David Lee was a better player.
Double machine.
Yeah, David Lee was nice.
Yeah.
So was Goran in his day. Goran was quite nice.
But like year 5 into his career, were you saying to yourself, man, one day,
what are you guys
they're gonna
doing
gather
in
around
his
for his
country?
game?
I mean, yeah, like David Lee could have had like a game in St. Louis, Missouri,
he
in like
could've-
a high school gym or whatever.
They would honor him in Gainesville, and we wouldn't think anything of it. Like This is him
exactly.
being honored in his home country. He was a huge, the biggest basketball star up until that point that country had pumped out.
Stugotz, at the risk of alienating the audio audience, I simply want to show you some video of a performance I have never before seen in the history of music. There are a couple of music items that I wanted to get to today that I haven't had time to get to. The reunion of Oasis is something I did not see coming because those brothers really hate each other in a way that is super strange and wonderful. But the thing that I wanted to show you was Pink at Gillette Stadium. She is performing in front of a really large crowd, and she is basically being spun by high wire, like through an arena in a way that I have never seen before. I've never seen a famous person. This seems more impressive than what Tom Cruise did at the Olympics, where she is upside down and hanging from a string, and she is flying all over Gillette Stadium. And many people are pointing out that not only did she not throw up, but she kept singing throughout all of this. She is just swinging all over Gillette Stadium, and I've never seen a performer do this before.
Now, Pink has been doing this for like a decade. It's what she's known for. It's her thing. But I've never seen it done to this level of extreme. Is this video sped up in any way?
No.
This looks crazy.
No, this seems super dangerous, and she's been doing a version of this, but not this. This is not something that I've seen done before, where she is just simply swinging all over the stadium in a way that's very high and seems very dangerous. Now, that is a packed stadium. I want to show you what an empty baseball stadium looks like and how it is that an Oakland A's fan might end up with not one, not two, but 3 foul balls during a game because nobody cares about Oakland A's baseball.
But no, you're painting this in a way that like there was just no one at the stadium, so he ran and got 3 different foul balls. No, he caught 3 foul balls in the air. Like, this is insane, regardless of how many people are there.
Correct. It is insane, but there are a lot of empty seats around him that give him all that room. He caught 2 with he caught all of them with his glove, right? All of them were caught with the glove?
Yeah, all of them in his own row. Yeah. Like he's maybe moving like in the third one, he just gets some elevation. That's a web gem right
Chris,
there.
what he is saying is, what Dan is saying is, good luck doing that at Yankee Stadium.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
If it was a fully packed stadium, it might have gone to someone else. He had a lot. He had many seats to.
Yeah.
He was like an outfielder with range.
Yeah, like he got rangy like within like 5 seats, but all within one row. That's really impressive.
What are the odds?
Too old for a glove.
Oh, Lord.
He has facial hair.
Yeah, but if you're in a good foul ball area, I'm okay with a glove.
It's not a lot of facial hair. That looks like a young Billy Gill, if I'm being honest.
I still can't grow that much facial hair.
I've seen people throughout. That is South Florida facial hair, if I've ever seen it right there. A young man, a young teenager from a Hispanic neighborhood.
This A's thing is really sad, right?
Which part? Just
the fact that they're not going to be playing there anymore. I know the A's like turn off all the comments, any of their social posts when they try to hype up the final homestand. I just never thought that this was actually a day that would come, because when I was young, the Oakland A's were the marquee franchise. They were the most exciting team in baseball. They had the biggest stars, and I can't believe that we're talking about a day in which they're not going to be playing inside that crappy stadium, because that's also something that was around when I was very, very young, that exact stadium.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco got inducted into their Hall of Fame last week. He's also doing a home run derby down here in October.
The A's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the A's Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Are you going to go see it? Are you going to go cover it?
I need to ask more details because when I ask for details, I go, what's this now? I was told he wasn't supposed to announce that yet. So as things go with Jose Canseco, it seems like things are off to a great start. And by the way, there's also always the chance he doesn't show up for that. And then I'm just watching a bunch of people I don't know in a home run derby.
You think Rafer Austin got a game?
That's
when
a
he-
great
when he
question.
retired?
Retirement game
Skip
for
to my
Rafer.
list. Yeah, probably. Like, if he wants to do it at like a famed street ball court, I get it. Guys, he's a Balkan legend. Like,
We did celebrate a lot when we got him down here.
He
It was
was
a fun show.
That's prime.
He had a great career.
Oh, and then every year after he left, we celebrated him coming back, and he never did.
What was the app? Was it a Vine? I think we did a Vine for when
super viral Vine.
Billy does love his baseball, and I was wondering, Yankee Stadium had a lot of activity this weekend. A-Rod is now officially an old-timers game person. How did you feel about everything happening with the Yankees this weekend? Aaron Judge getting to 50 home runs very fast, and A-Rod
No
being
one cares.
celebrated returning to Yankee Stadium.
I think they brought back the 2009 Yankees. I guess, wow, I'm not even thinking about it. It's their 15th anniversary. I'm assuming that's why they were back for like Old Timers Day or whatever. I felt happy for A-Rod that he was kind of like embraced by the Yankees fans and celebrated. I could do without the Jazz inside the dugout, hanging out with all those old Yankees. Like, I'm happy for you, Jazz. We broke up. I hope I never have to see you again. Like, I don't need to see how great your new relationship is. Not for me. Not for me. Enough of this. Last week we watched him tell this story on and on. God, that story felt endless for 15 minutes just to get to the punchline. He gave a little kid his phone number. Like, we get it. Okay, you're such a cool guy. I don't want to see him anymore. I don't want to see him doing so well. I don't want to see how great his numbers are. Now that he's with the Yankees instead of the Marlins, I don't see how happy he is. I don't want to see it. If you break up with me, even though we kind of broke up with him, I guess we sent him away. But if the relationship's over, I don't want to hear about you or see from you again. I don't want you to be. I don't want you to have happiness. That's what I'm going to say. Once you're out of a relationship with me, I don't want you to have happiness. And if you do, keep it to yourself.
Are you criticizing the length of other people's stories? I mean,
I'm just re-signing a video like 15 minutes long. Like a punchline. Oh, okay, you gave a look at his phone number. We get it.
He's sitting next to Jeter, who traded for him. We gave up Zach Gallen. Okay,
that is another thing. Two co-conspirators there. Jeez Louise. What a bad trade that was.
It's the 15th anniversary a thing.
Yeah. Is it not?
It's just like an odd one.
When you don't win World Series every year like the Yankees used to, you got to do anything you can to get people back in the park. I mean, geez. They're going to lose Juan Soto. Did you see the fans? He's like, the fans were chanting, keep Soto, keep Soto. You see what he said? He said, talk to Brian Cashman. He's out of there. Gone. He's going to go out of there. Back to back to back. Soto, Stanton, Judge. God, they're going to blow it. They're not going to win anything with the three of them. That's crazy. They're going to lose Juan Soto. And Aaron Judge, I was reading a thing this morning, said Aaron Judge is on a historic pace. No, he's not. He's not going to break 73. He's not going to historic pace to finish with what?
I think he's on pace to break his record.
He doesn't have a record. That's not a record. Oh, the American League record. That's not a thing. There's one home run record.
That's not that anyone cares about, though.
I know, and they don't care. No one cares about home run records anymore because of steroids. It's like, wow, this is so great. Yeah. No one cares. They ruined it. This isn't a fun chase. No one cares about these home runs.
Let's be clear. The guys of the 90s, they say baseball in the 90s.
And they killed it now.
They ruined it moving forward, yes.
I used to make a case that I thought that Jose Canseco would be in the Hall of, or should be in the Hall of Fame as a contributor to the game for kind of trying to clean up the whole steroid situation. Then I sat back and I said, but he also made that mess, and you shouldn't reward someone for cleaning up a mess they made. That should be kind of just what they do. But you think that these Yankees are going to do anything? Enough of Aaron Judge. Is Roger Maris' son going to come around? Are we done with him? We're done with him finally, right? We don't have to see Roger Maris' son anymore. Gosh, we saw him in 1998 following Mark McGwire around. Last year he was following Aaron Judge around the entire time. Mm-hmm. We're done with the Marises, are we not? Are we done with the Marises?
Put it on the poll, please. Are we done with the Marises at LeBatardShow? I want to get to our second Suey because we're going to have a fun Suey week. Limited fake is always a good category, and this is Mike Ryan's, one of Mike Ryan's favorite categories because he loves the sound of his own voice, no matter whose voice he's doing. Are you guys ready for limited fake? Is everyone excited about this? Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
And now the Suey nominees for Best Limited Fake. Amin El Hassan's Limited Fake, Antonio Banderas.
You may know me from my other role as Puss in Boots. Well, my fat friend, I find...
careful. Be careful.
Chris Cody's Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog. Yeah.
Roy Bellamy's Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog here, live from Middle Media Studios here in Miami. The Germans are advancing on France in World War II.
Amin El Hassan's limited fake Baby Billy.
Let's go Bible Bonkers! God's favorite game!
Billy Gill's limited fake Bill Belichick.
Then they ask him about it. He's like, I don't publicly talk about my contract situation.
That was a good Belichick.
Here's my dog. I like lacrosse.
Juju Gotti's limited fake Michael Caine.
If you want to talk like Michael Caine, you simply talk slower.
Charlotte Wilder's limited fake Rudy Gobert.
I am more like the odd guy from France that's winning a lot of awards. I trigger a lot of these guys.
Amin El Hassan's limited fake Liam Neeson.
I don't know who you are, don't know where you are, but I have a specific set of skills, and I will find you.
Jessica Smetana's limited fake Jimbo Fisher.
Mr. Shirt, if I may say for a second, Miami, they were simulating the snap count the entire game, and they were clapping at the line of scrimmage. And the only thing I want to see clapping are them cheeks on Mrs. Met in my face, Mike Shirt. All right, so that's one thing. They're a bunch of cheaters, Dan. And you know who should be cheating? Mrs. Met on Mr. Met. And he can watch if he wants.
Jeremy Tachet's limited fake Buddy the Elf. Amin El Hassan's limited fake pompous Harvard guy.
Conan O'Brien, because he went to Harvard. And he wrote on The Simpsons and SNL. And he's got a podcast where he travels. Harvard's own Conan O'Brien.
Chris Cody's limited fake 5-year-old British boy.
Woody Woodpecker, he's the best.
Tony Kaladiud's limited fake Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop.
I'm going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
Yeah.
Roy Bellamy's limited fake Tom Hanks from A League of Their Own.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
They're annoying.
What an old reference.
Mike Ryan's limited fake Psyduck from Pokemon.
Psy.
Greg Cody's limited fake Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse.
Not gonna do it, and you know it.
What?
That is weird, wild stuff. I did not know that. Badap! Eisner. Actually, no, it's Iger. Isn't it weird? They went from Eisner to Iger. What a beautiful thing for me. Eisner.
And there was a Chapek era.
Iger.
Mike Ryan and Tony Kaladiud's limited fake Joe Zagacki.
It says other people, like, we don't have to make special exceptions. Come on now. It's got a point.
I'm trying. And them agreeing. People say we live in an echo chamber, that our show has too much of an echo chamber. Them, like, hard.
Just saying, like, sometimes you're insulting Eric Bieniemy.
Them having a hearty agreement.
Making a lot of good points.
Mike Ryan's limited fake complicated legacy Joe Zagacki.
Don, that's what happens when you don't play American. Manny Diaz, Mario Cristobal. Just saying. They were pretty good with Mark Richt. That complicated legacy Joe Zagacki editorial is brought to you by the Dan LeBatard Show sweepstakes, presented by Miller Lite. Open to legal U.S. residents. I'm going to repeat that one. Open to legal U.S. residents. Again, open to legal U.S. residents.
Tony Kaladiud's limited fake complicated legacy Joe Zagacki.
To us residents.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty
It's in there. It's better.
You think I haven't been practicing?
Whoa.
I didn't realize we had a substitute complicated legacy.
Brought to you by Headquarter Toyota. 441 Powerline Road. Second down and 9.
Mike Ryan and Tony Kaladiud's complicated legacy Joe Zagacki adoring Kim Mulkey.
He hired Kim Mulkey the year before and gave her the highest salary of any women's basketball coach. And then he hired Brian Kelly. So I think there is something. I'm done.
Something about her.
2 of them. I draw the line.
You're surrounded
They
by.
call it a je ne sais quoi.
You're surrounded by
Sequence really gets me.
I'm sorry about that.
Political views. Forget those.
Tony Kaladiud's limited fake Cuban Joe Zagacki.
Mommy, let us
Oh, my God.
Reel it back.
No,
Reel it back. Reel it back.
Oh, my God.
Reel it back.
Yes. Sensual Zagacki.
More.
Oh my God, he scared us all with his sensuality.
Juju Gotti's limited fake Ajax snorter from Cheech and Chong. Jessica Smetana's limited fake dial-up internet.
You know?
What does it mean?
So old.
Jeremy Cachet's limited fake Winnie the Pooh.
It sounds to me like everybody could use a hug because a hug is always the right size. All I have put in my body today is 3 cups of coffee and an entire cup of honey.
Go to the penalty box.
Don't let him fool you. He said in the break that he's jittery.
Charlotte Wilder's limited fake Great British Bake Off contestant.
I'm just so happy to be in the tent.
Billy Gill's limited fake Taylor Vippolis.
I gotta tell you something. Last thing I want to hear is a guy who hasn't watched the Yankees all season tell me to calm down.
Greg Cody's limited fake Joe Biden.
You know, sitting around the kitchen table in Scranton.
See, that's good.
My dad used to always say, Joey, if you're ever on a podcast, don't have nothing to say. You're going to come up with shit.
See, that was the most believable part of the impression.
Sitting around the kitchen table in Scranton.
Chris Cody's limited fake Jeremy Schaap.
I'm Jeremy Schaap, and today is ESPN Daily.
Greg Cody's limited fake Harry Styles.
You know, hello. This is I've got to perfect my British accent because when I go on stage as Harry Styles.
Dan LeBatard's limited fake Adam Schefter.
While there's nothing official and conversations are still ongoing.
Was that a fake Schefter? Because it was
pretty good.
It was
yeah.
excellent.
I feel like there's legs. Yeah.
I tried at the beginning and then I lost confidence in it.
Why? It was good. It was good.
You got
There's
this.
nothing official.
Yeah, it's so good.
Conversations are still ongoing. It is trending towards Nick Sirianni remaining the head coach of the Eagles.
Chris Cody and Mike Ryan's limited fake Flemmy Dan LeBatard.
It's good timing.
These don't sound like this anymore.
I'm Dan. I know every animal's blood.
I know every animal's blood.
Chris Cody and Mike Ryan's limited fake Chad GPT.
Just like Google it or whatever.
I don't know, man.
Chad GPT is a good character.
Listens to you talk and just goes, man, that's crazy.
Charlotte Wilder's limited fake old-timey baseball broadcaster.
No, Dan. See, he's over here. He's Billy Two Legs. He's the fastest man we've ever seen in this sport.
Mike Ryan's limited fake Pierce Brosnan in the film Dante's Peak.
Put the town on alert.
Tony Kaladiou's and Chris Cody's limited fake Trump and Biden.
No one else here is willing to do a Trump or a Biden.
That's not true, Dan.
Okay, Tony, you can catch
Man
up.
of 1,000 impersonations. That's not bad, man.
Finally.
Not terrible. Pretty good. Yours is terrible. You just got to get a little redder, a little pinker. You're right there, man.
Yours is not. You're Biden.
What do you mean?
Oh, his is good.
That's
Dan.
actually not
His
bad.
Is good.
Not terrible.
That's not terrible.
We got to come together.
A little southern
Little
twang
Bush.
there.
Little George Bush in that one.
Chad GPT is a good character.
That's crazy.
I want to know where the voting is on this. Is it on Twitter or anywhere else other than Twitter? Because I'd like to know who wins these things. We're not very good. We're good at playing these things. We're not great at tabulating the results.
We are going to tweet out and put it on Instagram, all of our socials. Check. We will put out the links to vote for both these categories. And we will have no funny business this year. We're using a different website. I don't know if you're going to be able to vote as many times. Because in the past, you could just keep voting over and over again. We're trying to eliminate the funny business, especially for best musical performance, because those people get, they get frustrated with that stuff.
Sounds like a real election.
Stugotz, would you like to hear some Jameis Winston pregame during the preseason?
Hell yeah.
Two forms of ID, folks.
They've lost
two of them.
All these games that he does this preseason speech in, but they're always good.
It ain't just about having fun, man. Yes, remember the time you played your best football game of your life. Yes, sir. Remember the time after that victory you went to CC Pizza and celebrated with the boys. For real. Feel it in your heart, man. It's a long way back to Cleveland. Yeah. Let's not leave it without a victory. Yeah. All right? So put everything you got on the line today. Let's have a game of memory, man. All right? I remember. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Family number 3. 1, 2, 3.
0-3 in those games.
Oh, man.